Hi, I'm Sandy Schroeck for LBR Educates, and we're all inspired from designers from around the world. For me, one of my inspirational designers to watch is Per Benjamin. He's a designer from Sweden that is an educator and also a leader in the industry. One of his concepts is to take ordinary flowers and show them in extraordinary ways. Think about how to challenge how we use them on a regular basis and show their beauty. He is the designer for the Nobel Prize banquet, and this year they actually did these ring pinfrogs. And so you can see that it's a pinfrog that you use. It's a weighted metal base. And so you're able to use that, and here I'm placing it into an 8-inch cylinder, but you're able to create more of a column style design and use that pinfrog as the structure and really have a lot of transparency on your design. And so let's get started on creating this composition. So the next step that I'm going to do is just add a few pebbles around the edge to just disguise that pinfrog a little bit. And the middle I'm keeping open. I just want to keep that transparency there. And so just a few of the small pebbles there. And then you can see we can start creating dancing forms with the flowers. And I'm using a turntable today to kind of move that placement around, but these are scoops, and you can see how their heads kind of turn different directions and stand and do that kind of interactive play between the floral elements. And so we're going to utilize kind of that and just kind of create our base structure here. Next we're going to come in. So a lot of the floral materials that I've chosen are smaller blooms. And so they'll keep that kind of transparency that I'm looking for. And we're also using the power of stems. So rather than just have those low stems, and I've cleaned off some of these stems to really highlight the beauty of the stem. And we have the cleaner type flowers. And here I'm adding a little bit of the lavender, and the lavender brings the fragrance into the room. So you can see it kind of goes along with the Veronica in a similar look. But I'm going to get it so that it's kind of right in the area where customers or people that are enjoying this arrangement are going to be able to embrace that fragrance. A couple of other things, I have some micro palms, some button palms, and rather than think of standard chrysanthemum kind of pieces, but look at some different varieties. Right now, the growers are really challenging themselves to grow different varieties that allow us to be able to kind of really appreciate that product group again and embrace the different textures that we get from the chrysanthemums. And you can see cleaning off the foliage, that really helps to increase that transparency. And I'm just utilizing them all at different heights to kind of bring that color throughout. That's probably enough of those. And then thinking about different textures as well. So here I've got a little bit of hypericum coming in. So we kind of had a one color tone going there. You can see we're going to add in some of those corals and some pinks as well to increase that color palette and kind of take it to the next level. So these rings are a bit of an investment, so they're going to be something that you would add to your rental potentially, or sell them to your customers off the floor, and that they could create some designs, come and get your flowers weekly and update some of the pieces. But it really fits in that sustainability concept that we have people being highly aware of, and be able to embrace that for them. So now just coming in and adding in another color group. As I'm coming, I can just come in and see about where that's going to fall and think about what the color balance is coming throughout this piece. You want to have your eye moving back and forth through the composition and at different levels. So you can see I'm placing these at different levels throughout the composition, and when you look through this design, your eye flows all the way through. And so you think about the placement of that. So rather than our traditional design where we see a little bit more of a triangle, we're going to come in and utilize this column and bring a few now a little bit lower, and just a couple more impactful pieces down to the base. And so pinfrogs right now are very popular, and in event work, we're seeing pinfrogs kind of replace bud vases. But you can create really unique little pieces, and so you can see there, it's adding in a couple of the asters, and then a little bit of our rice flower coming in low. Okay. The hollow stem of the astringent doesn't take to the pinfrog real well, and that's with the rice flower too, and that's why I'm just bringing it in down a little bit lower, so it doesn't have to, we don't have to have as much of needing the balance on that. So lastly, just adding in a couple unique blooms, the foreign flowers with the alstroemeria here. So you can see that we didn't add a lot of foliage, and we can actually just add a little bit in right now and twist it in. But we don't want to eliminate any more of that transparency that we've got going on in there. And I can kind of see into the center, and you get that reflection. So here you can see our completed design. It's the column style, and it has different layers and levels of flowers throughout, but yet comes down into a focal area with a few of the brighter color blooms down at the base, and the different sizes, but mostly all more petite blooms. So I hope you'll call your salesperson and pre-book some of these today. I can't wait to see what fabulous florals you create with them.